here, you've got a bit of an inkling who our special surprise guest at this year's festival is. Someone who's an inspiration to many of us, hugely entertaining YouTuber. I'm delighted to announce that ItchyBoots, please come to the stage. How are you doing? How are you enjoying the festival so far?
It's amazing. It's so much bigger than I thought, and amazing to see all the bikes. And, yeah, it's super cool to be here.
Excellent. Now, you've got a presentation for us today, haven't you? So I will leave you to wow these people with tales of your adventures and a look behind the scenes of how you make your videos on the road.
Yes, that's why I asked if they could put the screen a little bit like this, so I have like a little.
It's coming, it's coming.
Do I need to point at you?
There's a tech man sweating in the corner. There we go.
Yes. So, yeah, I didn't know I was going to be here until like a week ago, so it was also a little bit of a surprise for me. Because I am traveling through West Africa, and yeah, a week ago I was still tootling around Africa. So I left my bike there and I flew here. So I hope, I left my bike with like a kind of a random dude. I hope it's gonna still be there when I go back, but I'm sure it will be. And so yeah, I thought I would, I thought it might be nice to talk a little bit about how it's like to travel on your own while also trying to make videos on YouTube. And so that's why I made a little bit of presentation so I can sneak what I was going to say. So I started my journey like 4.5 years ago now, and I started with one GoPro, started riding, and I think the first 100 videos I made with the one little GoPro. And now I have, on a daily basis, I use 2 GoPros, a drone, a tripod, but also a 360-degree camera. And I've now created over 570 videos. So it's been a little bit of a journey. And over time, over all of those videos, the whole YouTube thing got a little bit out of hand. So now it's kind of come to like the bizarre point that there are almost more videos created about me than I can create myself. And they have like really catchy titles like ItchyBoots Secret Life Exposed. I clicked on that and I was like, what? Tell me what is my secret life? I'm really curious now. And yeah, things you didn't know about her. I was like, really? So yeah, it's getting really, that's really bizarre thing. And then you get like, am I getting boring? Maybe. I hate ItchyBoots. I'm like, okay. Yeah. But this is maybe one that these type of videos started popping up, and they are like ItchyBoots Secret Camera Crew Exposed. And for some reason these videos do really well on YouTube. They have like over like 250,000 views. And I was like, but who are these people? Where is this crew? So I also clicked on that one. And well, then they also say halfway through the video she doesn't have a crew. Oh, there's which I already knew, of course. But the whole thing about like these type of videos appearing, I started thinking like, why do so many people even think that? Because to me it's kind of an absurd concept. And I thought maybe the long way around, see, there's the secret camera crew. This is not me flying that drone. That is the ABR Festival, believe me. So I blame it a little bit on the long way around, because they, I think, had a cameraman there. That now it maybe sounds like that's the normal thing to do, which I don't know any other traveler that would travel with a camera crew. So then I came up with 2 hypotheses, like why would this spark so much, like why do people think that? And I thought, okay, maybe some of my filming techniques are not understood. So 360-degree camera stuff is relatively new, I suppose. And flying a drone, not everybody knows how it works. So maybe that's why, you know, like, because who is taking those drone shots? Has to be someone else. Or people just can't believe I have the balls to ride around the world on a motorbike. I'm not going to try and prove that last part, so I thought let's just focus on the drone stuff. So that's what I wanted to talk about now. Yeah. Well, I think two things. The one thing is just, I just get happy when I see my motorcycle, and I'm sure you can all relate to that, right? And when I have my bike and it's all loaded up and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, you know, like that's my bike. I just can't wait to get on it. And once I step on my bike and I have my little tank bag there and I feel like my other luggage in the back, I feel like kind of snug on my motorcycle and I'm just ready to go. So I don't really need motivation for that, obviously. And I think the other thing is that I really like creating. I love making something, and that's why like I do all my own editing, and part of the editing is really mundane and boring. You're just like, oh, just get that over with. But then halfway through, when I get to like the part where I put like the music, like when it all comes together and I can try and, you know, make something and be creative, I love that still. So.
And do you start the day thinking, oh, I'd love to make a video about this, or I'm going to this place and I think, you know, I could do this? Or is it very much just take the world as it comes and see what you encounter?
It depends. When I started, I had no clue, and I think also because my audience was very small, it didn't really matter what I did, I suppose. And now, what I said before, like I feel more pressure, like, you know, it has to, you know, come to a certain standard. And then it depends on where I am. So for example, in the United States and Canada, the scenery is amazing, but I can't fill 20 minutes of scenery. So there I try to do like more research. Well, I always do a lot of research. Okay, what's an interesting place to visit and what can I tell about that place? So I do a lot of preparation. So I know, okay, today I'm gonna ride this amount of distance and I can make a stop there and, you know, maybe talk about something, make a stop there. And I'm like, okay, that's hopefully gonna be an episode. And in other places, like some places in Africa, I do not have to, you know, prepare anything because stuff will just happen, you know, it's just crazy stuff will happen and I don't have to make any effort, just make sure that the cameras are rolling and then it's easy. Yeah.
Well, have you got an example of a time when, you know, you've got, oh my God, this is serious, and you forget that you're filming and you're just like, how do I get through this?
Yeah, in that sense, I think I am the worst YouTuber because when things are really going badly, I do not care about the cameras at all, and I'm so focused on getting myself out of the situation that, and then in hindsight, after it passed, I'm like, why didn't I put the cameras on? Why didn't I do it? But in the time, I'm like, I gotta sort this out now, and when I really feel like I'm in trouble, that always comes first. So yeah, and that's then in hindsight, that's a shame, but.
Yeah, and you mentioned Canada and that area with beautiful landscapes. You know, you've been to an awful lot of places in the world. You know, where would you go back to? Where's a place that really pulls at your heartstrings?
It's a difficult one. I mean, it will definitely be, I think the reason also why I really enjoy Africa is because of all the crazy stuff that happens there all the time. Because even though the United States and Canada, it's super beautiful, I thought it was a bit boring. Or, I mean, not boring, but I was just kind of like, yeah, it's pretty, I think I just need like some, you know, language barriers and weird, I don't know, kind of the stuff that happens in Africa, like the unpredictability of it, perhaps, and everything being different language, different food, different people, different culture, terrible roads, and then I'm like, yes.
And that's interesting because I remember, I know many of you have probably done the same, rolling off a ferry in France for the first time on your bike, the first time we've ever done it. So exciting, it's brilliant, you're on foreign soil for the first time on your motorcycle. Do you find that you need to go for that extra hit of adrenaline, the extra hit of excitement every time? Are you kind of seeking that?
Yeah. Yeah,
You're
I think
an
so.
adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because I do remember when I started in India, and it was my first time on an adventure bike, and my first time traveling on a motorcycle, and my first time off-road and everything was a first. I was super excited all the time, you know, and I was like, this feeling, like, yeah, oh, this is awesome. And then, yeah, I think the longer you do it, that's kind of just becoming the new normal. So you're always on this level, okay, just another day in the office, I suppose. So maybe that's also why now being in West Africa, which is definitely the hardest area I've been so far, everything is a mission there. But I think maybe that I do need it a little bit to kind of, you know, keep that excitement for myself.
And what is it about West Africa that's so challenging?
Everything. It's hot, it's humid, I get eaten by all sorts of bugs all the time. I'm ItchyBoots, but there I'm just itching everywhere. Yeah, bad bugs, no food or bad food. Fuel is a problem, no mechanic support or anyone. Yeah, everything is a mission, yeah.
And do you find yourself being able to get into a routine day after day when you're in such a challenging and difficult environment?
Yeah, I suppose, because I mean, I've been doing it, I think, for this extended amount of time, that it's kind of, I have my routine, all my things are in the same place, and yeah, it just depends on what happens. That day is always different, but how I do it, I suppose, is always the same.
Yeah, and it's, you mentioned it's quite a solitary life sometimes. Do you ever come across other travellers on the road, kindred spirits that you ride with for a while, or something, you know, make a place explode in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I do meet other travellers. I mean, in West Africa, there's not so many. But I recently, in one of my latest videos, I met a guy from Austria. And it was actually funny because it was the second time I bumped into him, because I bumped into him at an embassy applying for a visa. Because even, the funny thing is, when you must have noticed this, even if there are a million routes that you can take, somehow people try to kind of, you move through the same places in the same direction, so you'll meet the same people, you know, along the way sometimes. So I first met him in an embassy, and then at a waterfall, because that waterfall was literally the only like touristy thing to do in the entire country. So to bump into another traveler there is a pretty high chance. But I don't, I'm such a loner, I think. I can't really travel with someone else for like an extended period of time.
On the Bridgestone stage, yes. I remember off the top of my head. But it's been fascinating to get an insight into behind the scenes of your world. Thank you for sparing us the time. And guys, big hand for ItchyBoots. Now, you will be sticking around here for a little while. If anyone wants to get something signed or a selfie or something like that, I think we're going to have a table set up kind of over in that area just outside the tent. So